5, verse 48. It says, "Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect." All right. First and foremost, I want to say, Kahalaim La Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, and double honors to our apostles, our teachers, great millstone towers of truth, peace and salutations to the Most High's elect. All right. And, you know, this is a imperfect world. All right. As we know, you know, as people say, right, this the term is, in a perfect world, so and so, such and such would happen. In an ideal world, and this and that, But that perfect world is coming. You know, that perfect world is being established um, within the vessels of the elect. All right, and this is the book of First Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 6. It says, "Howbeit we speak wisdom amongst them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor the princes of this world that come to naught." Right. We speak, if this gospel, if our gospel hit is hid to them that are lost, right? We speak this wisdom amongst them that are perfect. All right. Now our our bodies, are subject to sin and death and what have you. Okay, but our minds and our spirits belong to the Lord, and they're covered by the blood of the Lamb. So that said Lamb is going to come to perfect this world, refresh it. All right, because as it stands, things are terrible, man. As it stands right now, everything's imperfect. Your life is but a vapor. It's fleeting. You know, your life is in the hands of some white man, you know, or some heathen and his draconian policies. You got your own spirits that you got to deal with that attach themselves to you, try to mess with you. So everything is imperfect. The food is imperfect. Ezekiel 4:13. All right, it's full of GMOs. Nothing is pure here, man. Everything is tainted. As they say, as these women like to say on these little websites, on these little social media sites, man. The dating pool got piss in it. The dating pool got piss in it. Well, you're part of the piss. You're part of the piss. You're not pure. Okay. So here it is. Everything has to be refreshed. Everything has to be renewed. It says Second Peter third chapter, a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. That's a refreshed earth and a refreshed rulership by way of our Lord Yahweh Shai and his men that was before the house, the ancients that was before the house, Ezekiel the ninth chapter and the fourth verse. So it's Philippians chapter 3, book of Philippians chapter 3 and verse 11. It says, "If by any means I might attain unto the resurrection of the dead, not as though as I had already attained, either were already perfect, but I follow after that I may apprehend that for which also I am apprehended of Yahweh Shai." It says, "Brethren, I count myself to have apprehended, but there's one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind and reaching forth um, onto those things which are before. I press toward the high mark. I press toward the mark of the price of the high calling of the Most High and Yahweh Shai Mashiach." And that's a high price to pay. So you gotta be perfect in order to pursue that mark, of perfection. All right. That's why this wisdom is only given to the perfect. Okay, 15 verse. "Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if anything ye be otherwise minded, the Most High shall reveal even this unto you." Matthew 5:48, right? Which I started the lesson with. Okay, be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. So the script tell you that a man strive for the masteries, he must strive lawfully. It's not crowned unless he strive lawfully. Well, that's a constant seeking out of perfection. And that's why the script tell you give all diligence. Um, yeah, the Lord has us seeking the Lord continually in a diligent form that would show our perfectionist mindset. Because scripture tell you to prove your faith, prove all things. First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter. Hold fast to that which is good, right about the 21st verse. So you're supposed to prove yourself that you are one of those perfect vessels that the Lord is going to refresh along with this earth. You know, so He's going to give you that power to refresh the earth, man. Those of you that's perfect, okay, that strive for the masteries. Okay, Philippians 3:15. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded. And if anything ye be otherwise minded, the Most High shall reveal this unto you. Okay, yeah, why? Because this is a walk. This is not a swift race. Sometimes the Lord reveals things to you by you falling. Okay, because don't the Christians say the Most High works in mysterious ways? So if you be otherwise minded, even this, the Most High shall reveal this even unto you. Sometimes you err, not knowing the scriptures or being forgetful, being in the flesh. Lord has a way of reprimanding those that He loves and keep you on the straight and narrow. But ultimately, none of the elect shall be plucked out of my hands. None of the perfect. I said in the 10th chapter of John, right about the 28th verse. All right, no man that can pluck them my hand. My Father give me. He's perfect. All right. So I want to look at this word perfectionist, real quick, because in this thing of ours, we're perfectionists. So we're always seeking for more. You can tell you can never go far enough. And Sirach, the 51st chapter. When you exalt the Lord, exalt Him as much as you can, for even then He will far exceed. So that's a perfected mindset, a perfectionist mindset. It's never enough. Like Luther Vandross said, it's never enough. Okay, so that word right there, 1 Corinthians 2:6, the word right there for yeah, that's right, that's it right there. Yep, John 10:28. Yep. But the word for perfect in 1 Corinthians 2:6, which is teleos, strong 50:46, it says perfect. We speak this wisdom among them that are perfect. It says brought to its end, finished, wanting nothing. Okay, in other words, that's why the Lord spoke the parable. He said, if a man shall eat of this bread, drink of this water, I should give him, shall never thirst again. Meaning that man's gonna be perfect. Meaning he's gonna want nothing. See, when you're in His truth, and the Lord supper with you, He's dealing with you. You don't really want for anything outside of this. You have a sound mind. Okay, Scripture say Isaiah 33 and verse 6. Wisdom and knowledge should be stability of thy times and strength of their salvation. You need stability. So the Lord gives you that stability where you're not being as children tossed to and fro. So even your necessities are taken care of, your food, your raiment, and stuff like that. So you don't really want for anything else outside of the Lord, other than His kingdom coming on the earth. So we've left behind all this vanity, That's the wants of the flesh. As Solomon said, it's all vanity. It's all bullshit, just vanity. All right. So when you drink of the cup of the Lord, which tells you in 1 Corinthians the 9th chapter, you can't be a partaker of the cup of the Lord and the cup of devils. When you partake of the cup of the Lord, you stop to give a damn about everything else. So your belly is full of the Spirit of the Lord, which ultimately makes you a perfectionist. Ultimately makes you to want nothing. See, 1 Corinthians 2:6, right? The word for perfect, meaning you want nothing. You brought to necessary completeness. Perfect, that which is perfect. Consummate human, a consummate human with integrity and virtue. You, you heard that term they use, oh, that man's a consummate professional. But that means he's the ultimate professional, the top of his class. So the Lord said, as many as be thus minded, right? They'll be perfect. We speak this wisdom amongst them that are perfect, them that are consummate individuals. You know, that's the only ones that's going to receive this word and be healed. Scripture say that faith have made thee whole, right? Well, the faith is the one that heals you. Because we read the Apocrypha, it says that uh, it was neither herb nor modifying plaster restored them to health, but that word of the Holy One. I believe that's Wisdom of Solomon. I forget what chapter. Um, but it was the word of the Holy One. It was neither herb nor modifying plaster that restored us to health. It was the word of the Lord, which comes in the volume of the book, which only the perfect can understand. So if this gospel is here, it's here to them that's lost, right? Of people that's not pure in mind. See, scripture tell you the pure, all things are pure, Titus 1:15. Unto the pure, all things are pure. To them that defile, unbelieving, nothing is pure, man. So that's why the Lord is only going to save a remnant of the pure in mind, the pure in heart. Scripture says, blessed are the meek, right? Those are pure individuals with a righteous spirit in them. Esau can't fall under that category. He's the devil. You know, he's totally twisted and perverse. Scripture say, who can make a crooked thing straight? The Lord already made these people crooked, but he made you straight. You know, he made these people a bunch of diddlers. All right. But he made you to be perfect and wanting nothing. All right. In the spirit, first and foremost, like David. All right. The house of David be as God, Zechariah the 12th chapter. Right. The Lord said David was a perfect man. Noah. He said Noah was a perfect man all his generations. Okay. Matter of fact, let's get that. Genesis 6:9. These are the generations of Noah. For Noah was a just man, a perfect man in all his generations. Yeah, that's right, a perfect man. In all of Noah's generations, Noah was perfect and walked with the Most High. All right. Now if man walked with the Most High, the Lord translates him like Enoch. Enoch walked with the power, and he was translated. So Noah was translated. All right. He got to escape the flood through the ark. He got to escape. He had to flee. So you niggas, you ain't gonna flee because you're not perfect. You're not just. You're not, and you're not trying to be. All right, which the Lord told you to do in Matthew 5:48, to strive. To be perfect. See, because um, nobody likes to fuck up and make mistakes. That shit's embarrassing. It's like shows like incompetence and shit like that. Which ultimately that's a mistake filled life that you live here, being in this corruptible body. You forget things. That's why I speak about corruption. You got on one side of the spectrum, you got perfection, and then on the other side, you got on one side of the spectrum, you got perfection, and on the other side, you got corruption. And this body is totally corrupt. This life is a totally corrupt life. Which we're made perfect in the spirit of the Lord. And the understanding and the wisdom of Him. That's how we're made perfect. Everything else is impure. It's impure. It's tainted. That's why a refreshed kingdom is needed. Hence why another reason why this place must be destroyed. Okay, but this wisdom is only for the perfect, man. Okay, so the word perfectionist, I said I was going to read the word perfectionist itself. Um, it says here, it says originally theological, one who believes moral perfection may be attained in earthly existence, or one who believes a sinful life is obtainable. The Lord did it. The Lord did so. That's why he's the example. Okay. Be followers of me and I'm a follower of Yahweh. That's what Paul said. All right. The belief has prevailed from time to time. It says this one satisfied only with the highest standard of living. One satisfied only with the highest standard of living. Our people are not satisfied with the highest standards of living. The Lord requires the best. Okay. The Lord requires the greatest. So that's a perfectionist mindset. Now, one is satisfied only with higher standards of living. Perfection, consummate state or form. There you go again, that word consummate. Going back to 1 Corinthians 2:6, that's part of the definition. A consummate human or a consummate professional. You know, one that makes the right moves. Consummate state or form. That degree of excellence which leaves nothing to be desired. See, our people are wanting. All right, they leave a lot on the table. You know, they leave a lot to be desired. See, consummate state or form. That degree of excellence which leaves nothing to be desired. Perfection, completeness, of finishing, of completing a perfection. To accomplish or finish, flawlessness, correctness, or purity. Act of making one perfect. The meaning, quality, or endowment, which is flawless. All right, perfect verb, the verb form. To bring full development, finish, or complete as so as to leave nothing wanting. All right. When the Lord spoke about Babylon, he said he found that place wanting. That's why the writing was on the wall when Daniel told them, you know. Okay, so that was not a flawless kingdom, that was a demonic evil kingdom, which is today has been regenerated as the daughter of Babylon, you know, the whore. Okay, which the Lord's work is to destroy this place. For the Lord's work is perfect. All right. Psalms Deuteronomy 32:4 says, he's the rock, his work is perfect. For all his ways are judgment. A God of truth without iniquity, just and right is he. So when the Lord it said he gonna enslave these devils and he hates them, you know, that's a perfect work. That's a perfect work. A God of truth without iniquity, just and right is he. When he created all the nations and said he chose one nation, a perfect people in his eyes, then that's a just judgment. Okay. Because my thoughts are not your thoughts, but in my ways are not your ways. Fifth verse. They have corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children. They are perverse and crooked generations. The Lord, his scripture tell you, the Lord made man upright, but he sought out many inventions. So they corrupted themselves. Their spot is not the spot of his children, meaning they're not perfect. So I gotta make them perfect through fire. Fire is gonna make these people perfect, man. Burn it and fuel a fire. That's how this war is gonna be fought, right? The war of to end all wars. First, the Lord's waging a spiritual war, and then turns physical. You know, that's a just balance. The Lord's giving you a chance to come into the perfected state by way of this word, by way of the washing of the spirit of the Lord, because you made clean and perfect in his eyes. That's why it says 1 Corinthians 2:6. We speak this wisdom amongst them that are perfect, meaning them that's washed, that's from the filth of the world, escape the pollutions. All right. It's going to speak about them that have escaped the pollutions, 2 Peter, all right, of the world, and them that fell away, being renewed again to repentance. It had been better for them not to know the way of righteousness, right? Because you already been made washed one time from the Lord's death. So you go back to your filth like a dog to his vomit. That's that's impure in the eyes of the Lord, right? So so that's why you have to meet your end on this side, you know, because the Lord, it requires perfection, and when he doesn't get it, he gets angry, very angry. All right. It says 2 Esdras 9 and verse 22. It says, let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, for with great labor I have made them perfect. My grape and my plant, a root of a righteous people, right? That's the elect. That's the root. They're the root of of Israel. That's where the nation came from. They came from the elect, the forefathers. All right. When it says Numbers 1:18, they counted the coals from their fathers. They got all these traditions from the ancient men that was furnished with ability. Sirach 44, the 44th chapter. That's who he's raising. All right. Those men he set up like Noah, a just man in his generation, a perfect man. Genesis 9:6, 6 and 9, I should say. You know. Okay. John 4:14 says, whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall spring up, shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. That's right. So yeah, you drink of that water Lord give you, you become perfect, man. You become perfect in his eye because clean, it makes you to be reborn again, as the Lord told Nicodemus. And you take accountability. That's right. So you become perfect in the eyes of the Lord. That's how you become perfect. You take accountability. You don't run from what you've done. All right. You don't run from uh 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 your sins, the scripture tell you them that seek to hide their sins from the Lord, man. The Lord sees all things. So it's best to come to the throne boldly, as says in Hebrews 4:16. You come to the throne of grace with boldness that you may obtain mercy in the day of judgment, affliction, right? You're gonna receive mercy because the Lord sees that as a perfect thing. You know? Okay. So it says 2 Esdras 12 and verse 8. Comfort me then, and show me thy servant the interpretation of this thing, and plain difference of this fearful vision, that thou mayest perfectly comfort my soul. See, Ezra was receiving visions from the angels and understanding, and they were supping with him. So he was perfectly comforted in his spirit. All right, because what the script tell you, where there's no vision, the people fail. So when you have vision, all them doubts and worldly mortal thoughts that says 2 Esdras 14:14 go away. All that shit, all that insecurity and uncertainty. It's gonna tell you perfect love cast out fear. In 1 John 4 chapter, perfect love cast out fear. So the perfect love that the Lord bestowed upon us, which in 1 John 3 it tell you what manner of love the Lord had bestowed upon us, that makes us heirs of the kingdom. And when he comes, we shall be like him, shall see him as he is, and we're gonna be just like him. A perfect state, man. You know. So 2 Esdras 8:52, it says, for unto you paradise open, the tree of life is planted, the time to come is prepared. Plenty them made ready, a city's built, and rest is allowed. That's right, rest is allowed. And because right now, the Lord is not allowing you to rest like that. Right now, you better work. Your ass better work so you can become perfect. And then I'm gonna give you rest. Right? We weren't brought here so you could be arrested in America and shit. Okay. Rest is allowed. A city's built, that's the kingdom, and a rest is allowed. Yeah, perfect goodness and wisdom. Perfect goodness and wisdom. The root of evil is sealed up from you. Because when Eve and them ate of that tree of good and evil, Adam and them, by way of Eve and the serpent, partook in the knowledge of good and evil, of evil on the left-hand side, they became, that root of evil was open to them. So now is the Lord sealing that root of evil. Even though we have understanding of the evil is not going to overtake no preventions, as the script say. Because right now the evil has overtaken prevent you. That's why you have no rest. So the root of evil is sealed up from you. Weakness and moth is hid from you. You're weak as hell and you have moth on you. Okay, meaning you're corruptible. Moth corrupts. Okay, moth is corruption, as it tells you in Sirach 42, speaks about garment coming from a moth and from women wickedness. All right. So that moth represents wickedness, corruption, and weakness of this flesh in your imperfect state, being in these everlasting chains of darkness. So it says, and corruption is fled into hell to be forgotten. Sorrows are passed away, In the end to show the treasure immortality. The treasure immortality meaning you're perfect. Because the wage of sin is death. Sins being transgressions of the law, imperfections, which turns into, you having no hair, you having no fathers, you having no children, you're being overweight, you being under the heathens, you dying at an early age. Our people die at an early age. They don't get to live a long, prosperous life here because rest is not allowed. But the Lord said rest is allowed, in the time to come. 2 Ezra 8:52, when paradise be open to us and the tree of life be planted. Right. Because right now the tree of life has no place in this society, man. This society is an impure place, man. So the Lord can't sit here and have his people ruling next to the so-called white man. Look at what they've already done. Look at what our people have done. They tried to assimilate in this damn devil's society, and it caused nothing but confusion. It causes nothing but confusion. So the Lord told Micah 2:10, arise, depart, for this not a rest. So when we depart from this place, we become perfect in the eyes of the Lord. Touch not the unclean things, 2 Corinthians 6:17, I'll receive you. I will receive you, man. You'll become perfect in my eyes, man. The Lord, look at you as, as different. That's why he set a mark on the forehead of the men that sign and crying, because there's in their spirits, they're separate from this place. They're away from the filth. They're set apart, man. Set apart from the calamity that's about to transpire, man. So it says, Wisdom of Solomon 4:5, the unperfect branches shall be broken off. When you read Romans the 11th chapter, it speaks about the branches that's being grafted back in, right? So the unperfect ones are those branches, those that can't be grafted back in, them niggas, okay? They shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable. Your children gonna perish. Not ripe to eat, yet meat for nothing. Yeah, unperfect branches are meat for nothing, man. Children begotten of unlawful beds are witnesses of wickedness against their parents in the trial. But though the righteous be prevented with death, yeah, he shall be in rest. Hold on. 2 Ezra 8:52. Rest is allowed, cities built, right? Yet he shall be in rest. Who? The perfect. Though the righteous be prevented with death, though the righteous, scripture tell you the righteous shall scarcely be saved. Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So though the righteous be prevented with death, though you may have to die, yet he shall be in rest. But the wicked shall go into mischief. Our people, they're not going to enter into that rest until they have to suffer, But to the election is promised that the Lord's going to raise you up. And as it says in 1 Thessalonians, the 4th chapter. And so we shall ever be with the Lord in the air to meet him, whether it be by life or by death. The scripture tell you in Colossians, the 3rd chapter, it says that to this world you are dead. When you read the NLT, I think it says to this world you're dead, but the Lord has your real life in Hamashiach Yahushua. When you read it in the actual NLT version of it, which I don't have it in front of me, but I seen the elder brother post it earlier on the comment board. It was a good find. That's what the comment boards are for. A lot of times, the comment boards are for you to pick up other scriptures and you to get fed more and more. It's not for you to just be on there just talking shit. Like these random pages that you see. You click on some of these random videos and they be like 7,000 messages of just like folly, and it's all about the edification. It's gonna tell you let all things be done onto edification, which that's the building, the city that's being built. 2 Ezra 8:52. That's why there's only that's why there's only a few. It's Colossians, I believe. It's it was the third verse, the third chapter, the third verse. Colossians 3:3. Yeah, it says in the NLT. We read it in the KJV. It says, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with the Most High in Yahushua, with Yahushua in the Most High. So it's phrased a little bit different in the NLT. It's phrased slightly different, man. Okay, so back in Wisdom of Solomon 4 and verse 8. For honorable age is not in that which stand in length of time, nor the numbered in years, measured in number of years. But wisdom is the great hair unto men. An old spot of life is old age. For he pleased the Most High, is beloved of him, so that living among sinners he was translated. Yet speedily was he taken away, lest that wickedness should alter his understanding, or deceit should beguile his soul. For the bewitching of naughtiness, this obscure things that's honest. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You dead to this life, and your real life is hidden with the Lord Yahushua. Yep, in the Most High. That's right. So it says 13th verse says he be made perfect in a short time, fulfilled a long time. See, the Lord is making us perfect in a short time. For his soul pleased the Lord, therefore hasted he to take him away from amongst the wicked. But this people saw and understood it not, neither laid this up in their minds. Yeah, that's why your family will doubt you, because they don't understand what, because this office of ours is too high. You know, it's not their fault really. You know, the Lord set everybody up, and the Lord didn't give this to everybody. That's why he spoke in parables. Master, why speakest thou in parables? Unto you is given to know the mysteries, but unto them it's not given. The mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. Lord said the hidden manna. You know. Okay. So for his soul pleased the Lord, therefore he hasted to take him away from amongst the wicked. But his people saw and understood it not, neither laid this up in their minds, that his grace and mercy is with his saints, and he has respect to his chosen, to the perfect, who he's making perfect. All right. Which he poured his spirit into, pursuing the wisdom of Solomon 27. It says that this wisdom entered into holy souls, made them friends of the Most High and prophets. Okay. So it tell you in Sirach, the 39th chapter, that he that give his mind to the law of the Most High is occupied in the meditation thereof. That's a perfect mindset. Okay. To think upon her, wisdom of Solomon 6 and verse 15. It says to think upon her is perfection of wisdom. And whoso watcheth for her shall quickly be without care. You don't give a damn about anything. You start to not give a damn about people's opinions, the world, your future. What's your future? The Lord is going to take care of your future, man. You take everything day to day, man. The scripture tell you, sufficient is the evil thereof, man, of the day to come. And James, you know. Okay, these people make 30-year plans because they're fucking scared, man. That's why they do it. They're scared, bro. They don't know what they're gonna make it the next day, but they're making 45-year plans, man. That's pride, man. Okay. So-called white man so proud he understood reincarnation, and he that's why he set up dynasty banking families, because he knew that he would have to come back, you know. But that's the devil for you, man. He's so proud that he think he's the most high, you know, even though he knows, because he's seen the records and he's seen what we used to teach, you know, because he had us in slavery for 500 plus years, you know. So he's such a proud devil. He don't say Lord will or anything like that, man, you know, because he's the man of sin. All right. He has the knowledge of good and evil, but he's not spiritual. You know, I'll say he only has the knowledge of evil. All right. He has the certain things that he took from us as for good, you know, but his spirit that's lifted up in him is not upright. So he can't be perfect. See, we're gonna have both sides perfectly, man. All right. In our case, we can't really deal with wickedness too well, because we'll fuck that up too. Esau's a perfect devil, you know. Okay. We represent the right, he represents the left, but we're gonna rule over both the right and the left in the perfect state. Okay. First, Wisdom of Solomon 15 and verse 3. For to know thee is perfect righteousness. To know the Lord is perfect righteousness. When you read Jeremiah, speaks about you boasting in that the fact that you know the Lord. All right. Let him that boasteth or rejoice. Let the rich man not boast in his riches, but let him rejoice that he knoweth me, right? Rich man glory. Okay, real quick. Jeremiah 9, yeah, it says 23. It says, thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his riches, his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him that glorieth glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. For I am the Lord, will execute loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. For in these things doeth the Lord delight. Right. So Wisdom Solomon 15:3, for to know thee is perfect righteousness. Yeah, to know thy power is the root of immortality. Right. So to know the Lord is perfection. All right. And the Lord has called you friends. Wisdom of Solomon 7:27. All right. He said, the Holy Spirit entered into holy souls, made them friends of the Most High and prophets. So that means you know the Lord. So that's why he said in the second chapter of Revelation that you're rich even though you're poor, because you know me. All right. And that's something that can be bought or purchased with money, you know. Okay. As it says in Acts the 8th chapter and the 14th verse. You had Simon trying to buy the Holy Spirit from the disciples, the apostles. At that time, they were apostles. You know, they tried to buy the Holy Spirit. They told him that I perceived thou in the gall of bitterness. All right, so that's why you're considered rich, because you have all this wisdom and knowledge, and you know the Lord, and you are protected by the Lord. Which how much you got to pay in this society for somebody, a bodyguard, protection, or whatever favor from the so-called white man? You got to sell your fucking soul, man. You got to be a mo like Young Thug on these niggas. You gotta be just like them for the so-called white man to kind of give you a little bit of favor, even though he'll still fuck you up and treat you like a dog and humiliate your ass. Okay, see, but the Lord, he did humiliate us. He did put us through all this stuff. But at the end of the day, he's gonna give us pure, perfect wisdom and perfect favor, perfect body, a perfect life. The so-called white man, he can never heal you from all the trauma that he put on you. The Lord's gonna heal us. The scripture tell you that he bound us. He bruised us, but he also gonna bound us up and heal us. All right. But there's no such promise for Egypt. There's no such promise for Babylon, the whore. There's no so much such promise for the white man. That's why he has you in a state of lovey-doveyness and forgiveness of him, and oh, that's how you become a good man and a good. No, it make you good man to hate your fucking oppressor, to hate the enemy, to love the righteous, and to hate abomination vehemently, as it says in Sirach 17:25. It says hate, 26. It says hate thou abomination vehemently. So it is a righteous thing, recompense them that trouble you. It's a righteous thing to hate abomination vehemently. It's a righteous thing to hate you fucking evil, demonic, evil demons. And you whorish women, and you moles, and all the rest of all this wickedness, that anything that's contrary to sound doctrine, to righteousness. Anything that's against this, to being a lying mo nigga, being a hypocrite, that's all imperfect thing. That's why the Lord told us to reprove and rebuke with all long suffering the doctrine, and let no man despise it. That's why the Lord, when he came on scene, he taught as one that have authority and not as one of the scribes. Okay, why? Because the scribes was not teaching with the authority of the Lord. The Lord had to come and show them how it was done, because they was over there worried about the carnal things. Oh, you didn't wash your hands to the elbow. Lord, you didn't wash your hands to the elbow. Lord, you healed somebody on the Sabbath. Don't you know that I am above the Sabbath? The Lord was above. He was the Lord of the Sabbath, man. The Lord came to show them not according to the letter of the law, because he was the letter of the law. But because it tells you in Psalms 40:7 that, lo, I come in the volume of the book is written to me, right? But when he was on the scene, they was getting carnal. That's why the Apostle Paul, he spoke to the Corinthians. He said, I speak to you as babes, not as spiritual, for you are yet carnal. All right. Because they were still simple. The disciples were simple. So the Lord came teaching with all authority, offending many, making them uncomfortable. But that's why he left it in there. He said, what? Reprove, rebuke with all long suffering and doctrine. You got to long suffer with your people. You got to, that's a perfect mindset. You got to suffer for them, suffer with them. Sometimes they won't even understand what you're telling them, you know. But it's going to be for their own good. That's why it says he taught as one to have authority. Likewise, you, right? So with that being said, you know, you coming with that perfect mindset is going to rub the world the wrong way. Your own people is going to make it seem like, you know, because it's a two totally opposite, different wavelengths of the spectrum, if you will, you know. So, you know, when you turn the lights on people in darkness and shit, you know, it's going to irritate the eye. It's going to make it's going to make that's why scripture speak about birth pains. Right? It's gonna hurt, but you got to grow in order to hurt in order to grow. All right. That's why scripture tell you reprove is not commonly, but it yieldeth the most peaceable fruit. All right. Romans 8 and 6 and 8 and 9. It says, and now if we be dead with Yahushua, we believe that we also shall live with him, knowing that Yahushua being raised from the dead, died no more, death had no more dominion over him. That's right. Like when you watch the X-Men, I've been watching all the X-Men lately. I ended up watching 1, 2, 3. And now I think the fourth one was Days of Future Past, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had other ones. But in the chronological order, not on release order, because they had X-Men First Class, all this other shit. But the one that came out 14, that was Days of Future Past. That went in the past, tried to change the future. Every time you see like Wolverine, like he's going through like they send him back in time, or like, you know, he's getting his metal claws. At first it was only bone, you know, but then he had to go through that pain to get the metal to become, you know, full of adamantium, you know. So you're gonna have to go through that same type of pain. Anytime you see Thanos, he put on the Infinity Stones and shit. He had to scream. He almost died. I was like, you know, he almost died. It almost killed him. You know, he had to go through pain to receive such a power. You know, likewise us, we had to go through slavery. You know, had to fall many times. Scripture tell you a righteous man, just man, fall 7 times, get back up again. The nation of Israel, which is referred to as the just, same thing applied to us as a whole. We had to fall 7 times, but the Lord is going to get us back up again. Now, Sirach 21 and verse 9. The congregation of the wicked is like a tow wrapped together, and the end of them is a flame of fire ready to destroy them. The way of sinners is made plain with stones, but at the end thereof is the pit of hell. He that keepeth the law of the Lord shall get the understanding thereof. And the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. The perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. So you didn't learn to fear the Lord until the Lord fucked your ass up. All right. You didn't learn to fear the Lord until you had to starve to death in the wilderness, wander 40 years. And still, they provoke me to anger. Pursuant to Psalms 95th chapter. And prove my works. You still harden your hearts as in the provocation. This is why this is going to be the most greatest destruction. So get all these impurities out of these damn people, man. You have to just erase and start from scratch. Because the people are too filthy in the eyes of the Lord. So Sirach 21:11, he that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof, and the profession of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. That's why the Lord told you keep the commandments. You get the Lord continually increasing you. You keep the commandments, you fast, you don't pop other men's women, you don't become a fucking mo. You do the work of the Lord, you show yourself a man and have diligence and discipline. You can't be a man without no motherfucking discipline. Okay, you have to be disciplined. You gotta get up at a certain time. You gotta, you know, do your exercises. If not, you're gonna become a fat slob, man. You know, you gotta eat properly. You gotta get into the scriptures. That takes diligence. That takes discipline, man. That's why the scriptures say, "Hate not laborious works." You have to, you know, you have to like your fathers and your days of old. They had to wake up every fucking day and work. They couldn't just get up there and work from home and shit. They had to fucking build houses and shit. I see my dad goddamn build He used to take me to the construction site as a kid, man. I used to fucking hate that shit, but it put discipline in me all the time, man. Even to this day, I still keep them habits, you know. But it was because of my father, man. That put that had that they instilled this. But when later on in life, you become an adult, you gotta get your own habits and shit like that. And Jake is under the curses. But anyways, we as men have to have much discipline, you know, in order to be perfect. All right. Because practice makes perfect, as they say, right? Um, so it says Sirach 34 and verse 8, the law shall be found perfect without lies, and wisdom is perfection to a faithful mouth. For a man that have traveled or travailed knoweth many things, and he that have much experience would declare wisdom. He that have no experience knoweth little, but he that have travailed is full of prudence. When I travailed or traveled, I saw many things. Travailed meaning went through many things, caught a lot of hell. I saw many things, and I understood more than I could express. Sometimes certain things you can't put into words, like the Apostle Paul. What he's seeing up in the third heaven was too much to describe, too much to put into words. Just like you may have things that you have spiritual things to add. You could skillfully add to things, but sometimes you can't put into words. So you gotta show a brother, or show your woman. Sometimes you gotta show your woman certain things. As a man, you're supposed to educate your woman. Scripture tell you if she should learn anything, let her learn from her husband at home. You're supposed to educate her. Okay, as a daughter of Zion, because ultimately she's your possession. So you are to educate her, because the Lord didn't impart onto her wisdom. You're supposed to put discipline in her, man. All right. And a woman, as her father's supposed to impart onto her. You play the role of her father after you become her husband. You're her father, you're like her caretaker. You're also her lover too, but you're also a pillar to her, and she's a pillar of rest to you. You see, that's a household. That's how you build. That's what the word household goes into, a foundation. Scripture say the blessing of the father established the house, man. But this is a fucked up society, imperfect, where the family structure is totally out of order. So again, that's another aspect of the refreshing. All right. But the Lord had to put us through all these experiences for us to understand and appreciate and put on a righteous society. We seen a terrible society, so we don't understand what it was like for these heathens to live in this state that they're in. So we're gonna rule them the right way, and Shalom, y'all, but Shabbat broke it down to all you brothers. But we're gonna rule everything in the perfect state, because we already experienced in a human form what it was like to be like a fucking heathen. That's why you had the Lord scatter our people in different bodies. You got brothers looking like white men, and you got brothers looking like Chinese men. The brothers have lived in all these cultures amongst these people. So when you're in the state of a ruler, you're gonna rule them with empathy. Even though you're gonna whip their ass too, but as because that requires order. The children, they're like children. The Lord told you that foolishness is bound in the heart of the child. The rod of correction shall drive it from them. So you're gonna have to do that to these nations, rule them with a rod of iron. Revelation 2:27. But you're also gonna rule these nations with empathy, something that Esau don't have. Esau don't have no shit like that, man. Esau is not an empathetic ruler, because he's the devil. So the Lord put us in this condition, ultimately to perfect us, and so we can taste evil and good, because the right hand side has been returned to us, restored to us. Lord said he pitied his inheritance. All right. And now he's making it perfect through much labor. Okay. So let as many as be perfect, Philippians 3, be thus minded, Okay. It says, let us as many as be perfect, be thus minded. If anything, you be otherwise minded, the Most High shall reveal this even unto you. All right. The Most High going to reveal this at his coming. Till we all come in the unity of the faith. Ephesians 4:12, for the perfecting of the saints, for the working of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of the Lord. Yahushua. Till we all come in the unity of the faith and the knowledge of the Son of the Most High, unto a perfect man, onto the full, on the measure of the stature of the fullness of the Lord Yahushua. All right. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of man and cunning craftiness, wherein by they lie in wait to deceive, but speaking the truth in love may grow up unto him in all things, which is the head, even Yahushua. Right. So, till we all come in the unity of faith and the knowledge of the Son of the Lord, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahushua, so it's all about the perfection. All right. It's all about the perfection, man. Okay. So with that, call like La, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Rakak Kodash. And it says in Matthew 5:48, be perfect as my Father in heaven is perfect. All right. So soon that perfection will come. All right. So, Daddy Shalom. So